Hi folks, John Cordisco here with the much anticipated FIDE World Candidates Final Tournament currently being played in Russia. 8 great players, 3 former world champions. It's going to be a great match. The winner of this match plays Magnus Carlsen for the World Championship. Don't miss any of this action. Hi folks, John Cordisco back again with another great chess video for you. Round 5 action from the FIDE Candidates Final Tournament. Hard to say. It's currently being played in Russia. The winner of this tournament will play Magnus Carlsen for the World Championship. It's a great game. Weird, complicated endgame between Peter Svidler from Russia, 6-time Russian champion. 6-time. You're lucky to win it once, let alone 6 times. And Topalov from Bulgaria, former world champion. This is going to be a great game. Svidler is white, Topalov is black. It's going to be a real OP. I'll buzz through the beginning openings. We've all seen it a million times. Queen takes, rook takes, pawn takes. Now you're going to see that pawn's in a weird spot there. And white leaves it. He doesn't want to move it. There's really no point in moving it, taking it. You'll see. Pawn takes, bishop to e4, pinning the knight against the rook. Bishop covers the knight, pawn, castles. Now the knight's not pinned anymore. A takes. Knight drops to e5. Interesting move. Right now, oddly enough, it's a small advantage for black. I like white right here, to tell you the truth. I think it's a lot easier to play. But who am I to say? Bishop f4, hitting the knight. Not as good would be b takes, and after bishop c6, rook takes, check, king to b8, and that a-pawn looks really dangerous, but it's not actually. After bishop to f4, bishop takes, knight to a3, rook takes check, the in-between move, rook takes, bishop e2, solidifying that pawn on f3. You're going to see later that pawn ends up being more of a hindrance than a help. If black had taken, pawn takes, f takes, bishop g3. Black's up 2 pawns, but doesn't have much of an advantage in score, about a half a pawn. After bishop to e2, rook to d5, hitting the bishop. Rook to g8. He's letting the bishop go. Now you all see what's coming. If rook takes check, king comes over, rook takes. It's bad news in general. g3. If rook had taken, rook takes, king to g1, rook takes f2, just to illustrate. And it says even game 0.00, but I wouldn't want to be black here, frankly. After g3, bishop takes, pawn takes, knight to g6, bishop moves, rook to e8. Now how weird is this position? 1, 2, 3 bishops in a row, pawn on f3, black pawn on f3. This is strange indeed. Bishop f5, check, king moves. Of course, white doesn't want to take the knight, of course, and straighten out black's pawn. That would be foolishness. Rook to d4, rook to e5. Let's just stop and take a look at this for a minute. This is a crazy position. Boy, I'll tell you, these guys, that's why they're world-class players, and I'm not. g4 to help protect the light-squared bishop. a5, just to kind of keep that pawn from moving. h3, h5, bishop checks, king a6, g takes, rook to d8. Wow, wow, wow. Black is up a pawn in material for those that are counting. It's 3/4 of a pawn advantage for white, not that much. He's down a pawn, but he still has the advantage. He has the much better position. Knight to e5, and I think white's a lot easier to play as well. a4, c6, rook to b8, hemming in the black king. Knight to c4. If you go to d7 instead, after rook to c8, king to b7, rook takes. After rook takes c6, or excuse me, knight to c4, bishop d4, c5. If rook had taken h3, just to show you, after bishop takes, rook to g3 check, f takes, f2 check, king takes, knight to b6, rook takes check, king to a7, rook to b1, king to a6, and bishop mates. How beautiful is that? That was a computer suggestion, and what would happen after rook takes h3. Bishop takes f6, knight to b6. Again, if rook had taken h3, rook to a8 check, king to b6, bishop to d8 mate. Now look at that triangulation with the bishops. Here, here, pretty slick. And then the pawn is guarding this escape square here. Wow. Bishop d8, knight to d5, wants to keep the knight. Rook checks, king to b7. It's about a point advantage right now for white. He does have the bishop pair. That's probably where half of that advantage is. Rook takes, rook to e5, rook takes c5, rook takes, rook takes, rook takes a4, rook to f5. Now we're getting a bizarre rook-bishop ending. King to c8, hitting the bishop. Bishop comes to g5. Now it looks like that f3 pawn is hemming in the king, but I'll tell you the truth, it's tying down that bishop. That's the problem. Rook to c4. Bishop goes to d2. Now we got bishop guarding here, opposite color bishops. It's about a 1.25 advantage for white. If king had gone to h2 to try to escape, rook takes, h4, rook to c7. I think that might have been a little bit better for white. That was the computer suggestion. After bishop to d2, rook to c7, h4. Now comes the pawn. Now comes the runner. King to d8, bishop, king e8, rook d5. How complicated is this? Holy crow. f5, h5. Here comes the runner. That's the pawn. Just trying to advance the queen. Rook to c4, rook. Rook takes, h6. And it's just a huge advantage now for white. There's no way he can stop that pawn. Rook to c8, h7, king f7, bishop blocks the rook. Rook isn't guarding the queening square anymore. And that's where Svidler Topalov from Bulgaria, former world champion, resigned. I thought it was a hell of an ending. I thought it was a hell of a game. Very, very complex. Very complex. Way over my head, but it was still a great game to watch. Well, that's the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I want you all to remember, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. And I want to thank all my new subscribers. Thank you very much. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.